My name is Martin Ester, and I'm a professor at SFU School of Computing Science. My research area is in machine learning with a focus on biomedical or medical applications. The idea of machine learning is to learn a model from a training data set and then to apply this model to make predictions for new test cases. In the biomedical or medical field, for example, the training data set could consist of a few hundred or thousand patients with their genomic profiles and the response to certain drugs. And this model could then be applied to the genomic profile of a new patient, a test case, to predict their drug response to a range of different drugs. And these predictions could be used by a physician to then select the drug for a particular patient that is predicted to be most effective or most responsive. This the example of a genomic profile of a patient, and you can see that this is a lot of complex data. In fact, this is only a small part of the genomic profile of a patient. Now imagine that you have a data set of a few hundred or even thousand patients, and it becomes pretty clear that you require some computer algorithm to detect these patterns that relate the genomic profile to the drug response of a patient. Such a pattern could, for example, be that the patient that has a mutation in this particular position of the genome and has a significant overexpression of this particular gene here will not respond to a given drug. Now, and this is exactly what a machine learning algorithm does, detecting such patterns relating the input to the output. Now, another promising application of machine learning in the medical field is the discovery of new drugs. Many drugs are small molecules that work by binding and thus deactivating a protein that causes a disease. Looking at this figure here shows you a part of this big protein in the background, the gray molecule, and a drug, a small molecule that binds in the pocket of this protein. Now the challenge here is the huge number of small molecules, potential drugs. There are in the order of 10 to the power of 60, meaning 1 with 60 zeros, different molecules that could possibly serve as a drug. And this is obviously completely infeasible to test all of these potential molecules in vitro to check whether they are effective against a drug. Now instead, what you can do with the support of machine learning, you create a small training data set with pairs of protein and molecule and known binding affinity. You then use this model, apply it to all the 10 to the power of 60 molecules, predict the binding affinity, and then you take only the 100 or so molecules that are predicted to be most effective against this protein and then ultimately against this disease, and test them in vitro whether they actually bind. Applications are examples, very promising examples of machine learning in the medical field. They are examples for the new paradigm in medicine called precision medicine, which aims at diagnosing and treating patients by not just looking at the surface, the symptoms, but taking a deeper look at the mechanisms that actually cause a disease. Now, precision medicine has the potential to improve the patient outcome on one hand, and on the other hand, to significantly reduce the costs of our healthcare systems. And machine learning is recognized as one of the main technologies that is needed to enable precision medicine. Now, our lab and many other labs worldwide have done a lot of research and continue to do a lot of research in this area of machine learning for medical applications, and much progress has been made. On the other hand, this is a very challenging field and many questions remain open. I just want to mention one question the patterns that the machine learning algorithm discovers may be very complex, too complex for a physician to understand. So a lot of research is currently going into explainable machine learning models that can be understood and critiqued by a physician, so that the physician then remains in control of the decision-making process.